Hey everyone, World Film Geek here, and a few weeks ago I had the pleasure of interviewing actor and producer Mike Hatton. He is best known for his work with director Christian Sesma. They've worked together on The Vigilante Diaries and the recently released Paydirt, which is now available on demand and on digital. The reason why we took so long is because he had to wait to announce a new project, and now that that certain project has been announced, here comes the full interview, and I hope you guys enjoy this interview as well as find out what this project is, and I think action fans especially are going to be in for a treat.
I'm good, man. How are you?
Doing pretty well, thanks. I actually watched Paydirt just yesterday, and I absolutely loved it. I've been a fan of Christian Sesma's work, and seeing this, I love the twists and turns in the film, and the cast was wonderful, especially you, and Luke and Val, and it was just a great film overall.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. That means a lot because, obviously Christian's somebody, if you're a fan of his work, then you've seen me pop in and out of those movies for years. And I feel the same way, which is, obviously why I continue to work with him as an actor. And I've, obviously involved in working with him as a producer. And, I'm proud to call Christian not only, a collaborative and working partner in the movie business, but he's one of my best friends. So, to hear that people like the work that that he's doing and that I'm doing is awesome. So thanks, man. I really appreciate it.
That's awesome. So, what led to your involvement in Paydirt?
In Paydirt, Jack Campbell from Uncork'd Entertainment had worked with Christian a few years ago on a movie called The Night Crew, and so he had said to Christian a few months ago, or not a few months ago, I guess a few months before we did it, he said, "Hey, what do you got? What are you working on?" And Christian had pitched Paydirt to him. He kind of had like a rough version of the script kind of sitting around, and so he pitched him Paydirt, and obviously Jack was like, "Yeah, let's do it," which was awesome. So for me, Christian obviously as a writer and a director, he always jokes around and calls me Steve Buscemi, so he always writes things in his projects for me, and whether it's one of the main stars, like, in this one, or if it's just a cameo, so in this one, he wrote me in a pretty great role as, Jeff Brains, so I, of course, read it immediately. He didn't even tell me which role he wrote for me. I just read it and knew that he wrote the role for me. And, when he approached me about acting in it, of course, I said yes, and, I at that rate, had been already producing a couple projects with him, and knew that he needed a producer on it who could get it done. And so, he asked, he and Jack asked me to produce it, and I was proud, of course, to say yes to that because I saw the potential as a movie and as a property, and thought this could be done really well. And I know I have the capability to do this, so let's make it. And I'm really excited about it.
That's awesome. So for those who are waiting to see the film or have yet to see the film, without spoiling too much, because we don't want to give too much away, but tell us a little bit about the character that you play.
I play a guy named Jeff, whose nickname is the Brains. And when you meet him, you're like, really, this guy's the Brains? He's kind of a stoner, kind of weird and out there, and he's eccentric, I guess would be the nice way to say it. And he's a lot of fun. And, because the way he fits in with these other characters, you've got the Brit, who's kind of the calm, cool, suave, collected guy, played by Luke Goss.
Mm-hmm.
You've got the blonde, played by Paul Sloan, who does, all the heavy lifting and will take care of beating anyone up that you need to have beat up. And then you've got, Steve Salonga as the Don, and Muriel Telio as the Babe, and I'm forgetting what V. Butlison's character. I know her character name, but I'm forgetting what her nickname is. But so you've got this crew basically of people who revolve around Damien Brooks, and Damien was put in jail a few years back for a marijuana bust that went bad, and he's being tracked now. He's been released from jail. He's being tracked by a sheriff who the Brit got his dose a few years ago, and now he's trying to figure out how to put the Brit back behind bars. And it's a really cool little adventure. And of course, the sheriff's played by Val Kilmer. He's got a great little as a side storyline with his daughter, his character's daughter Jamie, who's played by Mercedes Kilmer in her introductory film debut. So we're really excited about that, and that's really cool. We feel like we have a really cool cast. And I think audiences are going to really like it. I think they're going to be surprised because a lot of times in this genre of films, you see more shoot 'em up, lots of action, but the dialogue and storyline might not be as fun or as complicated. And I feel like we've got the best of both worlds here, and we've got some really awesome actors involved too. So I think audiences are going to be pleasantly surprised with how well this film was made and how great of a ride it is.
That's awesome. I will say, when I did see your character, that's the first exact thing I said. I'm like, this guy is the brains. Because as soon as you came out, I was like, this guy. I'm like, this guy's the brains. I was laughing as soon as I saw you just come out. I'm like, this guy's the brains. That's awesome.
There's no way. There's no way you think he's the brains. And that's, I think, what's great about it is that, I think a lot of people out there, and it's great as a character arc too, because by the end of the movie you see that obviously he's, without giving anything away, you can see then why he knows what's up, and obviously, that's one of the cool things about it. It's like an onion, right?
Yeah.
You get deeper and deeper, and the flavor gets richer.
Exactly. And so you got to work with Luke Goss and Val Kilmer, and they're two greats. I mean, Luke Goss is becoming like one of the millennium's big action stars now. Val Kilmer is legend, and they're both excellent. I felt like Luke Goss is like the character on the verge of retirement. He wants to do that one last job, and Val Kilmer his character is on the verge of redemption after what happened with the bus going wrong. So, but what were they like on this, like off the set? Were they like really cool to work with, like really nice and awesome?
They're both great guys. I mean, Luke Goss, I've had the privilege of working with Luke before as a producer only. I produced a movie with him a few years ago, and he's great. He's a pleasure to work with, a true gentleman and a true artist, an incredible actor, and just an amazing artist, and just a great guy overall. So I love working with Luke. And as far as Val, yeah, you get it, man. I'm getting away for a call. You're like, what? So yeah, Luke's awesome. Luke's an incredible artist. And then Val Kilmer. I mean, dude, if you'd have told me when I was, 15 or 16 that I would work with Val Kilmer and not only work with him but become friends with him, I wouldn't have believed you. Val is an amazing artist, obviously an incredible actor, and just a great guy, and I really like him a lot. I'm proud that he and I have become friends over the course of this, and I know that I will be working with Val Kilmer again. And he's just such an awesome guy and a true legend. I mean, he's one of those guys doing like every movie he's ever done. That comes to mind. You just go, wow, and he's just so awesome, so great. And I'm proud to have a movie that not only he's in, but one that I think is launching a new chapter of Val's career. We're the first of this post-cancer, this new phase of his elder years, and so I think the audiences are going to be they're going to be shocked when they see the new Val Kilmer, because everybody still just remembers him as Iceman.
Yeah.
Val's in his 60 years old now, so it's like everybody when they see him, they all react differently because he looks a little different, a little bit closer because he's aged, and he's been through a lot with his cancer. So I think, audiences are going to be surprised, and then they're going to see too that the guy still got it. He's still, he's still got the charm, and he's still Val Kilmer. So
that's awesome. So I gotta say, like I said, I love Christian's work. I love that he does these little twists and turns. And I know that it will sometimes confuse viewers about like, what's going on? How's this happening? And that was my favorite scene of the film, where without spoiling anything, the brains explained the whole entire thing in like one shot. And I felt like that scene alone will make fans like go like breathe like so much sighs of relief, like, oh god, that's what happened. Okay, I get it now. Like it's gonna be that turn. That's gonna be. I felt like that was the turning point of the film. Like right there, when your character just explained the whole entire thing, and that alone is my favorite scene of the film. Well, one of my favorite scenes of the film, I should say, because those are quite a few. But that was one of them, because it's like I felt like at first I had to watch it twice. Just like I felt a little confused, but then the second time I watched it, I'm like, all right, I get it now. The brains just explained everything. I'm all good with that. So I felt like that was.
It was one of those scenes too where you know, even me as the performer, you know, Luke and me and Christian sat down that morning even, and we're still reworking the dialogue, which was really chunky. It was a huge monologue for me, and a lot of pressure, obviously, as an actor, and, you know, knowing that I'm like, oh wait, I have to sum up the whole movie, and I try, you know, I'm an improviser. I love to improv. So that's one of those cases where I'm like, you know, shit, I can't improvise my way out of this. Like, I have to hit all these points for the movie as a whole. And so, you know, I really went over it with Christian and Luke that morning, and we sat in the casino. We were shooting some of the casino scenes that day, and I sat down with Luke for a good hour and a half, and went through it with him. And Luke, I mean, that's the other thing about Luke. He's such a great guy, and he, you know, knowing that, like, you know, that I was having a hard time getting that dialogue down, sat with me, and we reworked it and worked it over and over and over, and, you know, even rewrote a couple of lines to be, like, more, like, in tune with what, you know, I would say. And when Christian writes these movies for me, you know, he really does think, okay, Mike Hatton, this is a piece of Mike's mind. Mike can play Jeff, just like in the past I played these other characters in his movies, and but still I have to kind of own the stuff, right? So it has to sound like it's coming out of my mouth. So Luke and Luke saved my ass. He really did on that end of that movie, and I thank God that he was there. And getting the dialogue out, he just kept going. He kept going, look at me, man. Look at me, locked in here. And it was like, and I'm like, you're so handsome, damn it. You're too handsome. I can't look at you. No, he made it great, man. He made me so comfortable during the end. So I'm glad that you got it and resonated with it, because it was not an easy scene for us to shoot, and we didn't have a ton of time on that jet. You know, you can only have a private jet for so long out on the runway.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm grateful that somebody liked it.
That's great. So my final question is, with film production starting to make its return finally, are there any new projects in the works?
Actually, I'm proud to say we're in production right now on what I believe will be the first legit-ish movie to wrap out of Christian's directing it. It's a movie called Paydirt. Stars Mickey Rourke, Michael J. White, Gillian White, James Russo, and Paul Sloan's in it as well. It's going to be a really awesome movie. Another Christian Sesma collaborator, Jeff P. Baraga, who of course was in Vigilante Diaries, is also in it. It's going to be a really cool movie. It's kind of a martial arts action drama. It's going to be awesome. And Mickey is phenomenal. I love
you just like hit me on the spot there, because that's like one of my two favorite genres of all time is martial arts films, and I'm a huge fan of Michael J. White, and so you just got my fanboy going right there.
Well, I'm glad you like it. Yeah, Michael J. White, of course, is an absolute legend in, you know, action and martial arts, and we're huge fans of his. We've obviously worked with him on Vigilante Diaries, so I would say this movie is going to be like a traditional martial arts movie, but meshed with Christian Sesma movie. So you're going to see, I think, less of the crazy choreographed fights and more of the you know, and look, obviously if Jai White's at his hand in it, you know it's going to be choreographed. I just mean, like, it's not going to be like a 10-minute crazy fight.
Right.
You'll have more, you know, you'll have more of the long shots and the long, you know, the dramatic, long, you know, and then the music breaks and the montages and the things that Christian does are going to combine with a lot of the things that you see in a traditional Michael J. White or Scott Adkins kind of movie. So I think it's going to be great. And Gillian White is awesome, and she's our lead, and she's of course been training with Michael for years now.
Oh yeah.
So, you know, you're going to see some really cool stuff. Have a movie. I'm really proud of it, man, because I've got a movie. When you look at the diversity checklist here, we've got Mickey and James Russo, who I hate to say it, even though these guys are legends and they're tough guys, they're seniors now. You know, these guys are older now, so it's like, you know, you've got these two badass older guys, and then you've got, you know, two African American leads, and so we've got, you know, obviously Christian, who's a Latino director with a Latino voice. So I feel like our diversity checklist is going to be awesome.
Oh, yeah, totally.
This is the audience in America. Yeah, we're really trying to make a really fun, cool movie, and this one will be much darker than than Paydirt. Like there's like almost no comedy in it, except Mickey's got a few little things he says that are going to be great. So yeah, that movie's called Take Back, and I think it'll probably come out early next year.
Awesome. I'm looking forward to that. So Paydirt is coming out this Friday. It is a wild ride of a film, and for me, it was about one man's redemption, one man's on the verge of retirement. And Mike, you are the bomb in this movie. You were the saving grace of the film. You were hilarious, and I hope people get to check out this film. And if they don't get it, they just need to watch your scene at the end and to explain everything, and they will get it. I guarantee it. And thank you so much again for taking the time to talk about the movie.
Thank you for having me. And yeah, I think I really appreciate what you said there. And, that's awesome. And I think if people just want to sit back and have a fun ride, don't put too much into trying to figure out what's going on. Obviously, because you'll figure. I think you'll figure it all out at the end, like you did. So I think just focus on having fun.